Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 30 Days Growth Marketing course. And today's going to be an exciting session. Swati, have you done any web scraping before in the past?
Hi, Rishabh. No, I don't think I have.
Right.
I'm not aware of if I have,
Yeah.
not aware of the terminology. Yes.
Right. So that's why I'm saying, it'll be fun because we'll go a little bit basic, but then we'll also see how we can scrape entire websites into Google Sheets. So web scraping helps in growth marketing a lot when you have to extract data, showcase data in table formats, or even scrape data from specific pieces of content. Those are all like different applications of web scraping, and we do it for competitor research, content generation, audience research, lead generation. So all of those aspects, SEO, social media, all of those channels, they all use web scraping in some way or the other. Of course, it's a more growth hackish, growth marketeers style methods. So mostly digital marketeers traditionally don't use web scraping that much, but today we'll see how it can help. Yeah.
Okay.
There are different scraping methods. And first of all, before we get into actually using the tools and executing the web scrapes, I'll just give you an overview of the different kinds of scraping methods. Now, essentially, scraping is just a way of getting data from a source and then putting it in a usable format. Okay, that's like the fundamental understanding of scraping. There are ways where if you see virtual assistants and lead generation experts, they would manually copy and paste data from one place to another, right? So let's say if I was to ask you, can you make a list of the recent products that have been launched on Product Hunt? Okay, so what you could do is you could go to producthunt.com. Sorry, let's go to producthunt.com. Now, if I had to tell you, okay, make the list of all the artificial intelligence or the new AI tools or the top products in AI from Product Hunt. So this is just a website where you have all of these new products that have been launching, right? So how would you do that? Yeah, you would typically like copy paste the titles, the description, the links, etc. You would take this link, this name, this description, put it in a Google Sheet or something, right? Like that's the manual approach. It's also a scrape, but it's a manual scrape. So
Yes.
just to show you a little bit of magic here, I'm just going to click on this link and then say Listly whole. This is a tool that I use called listly.io. And now you see it has actually scraped all of the tools for me in different columns. And then I can put it to Google Sheets, right? So exactly what you would do manually, but now we're using an app to do it. It's like a browser extension. And now you have the link, the name, the description, how many followers it has, which category it belongs to, and number of reviews, number of followers, right? So this is like a very basic example of web scraping. But essentially, you could copy paste data. You could also use tools and libraries. So there are tools such as Beautiful Soup, Scrapy, Cheerio. You can use APIs. So platforms like Google Maps, Twitter, Facebook Graph, even LinkedIn, they have their own APIs. So you can make specific calls to the APIs and fetch data back. Like you can literally scrape tweets about a certain hashtag from Twitter. You can scrape job postings. Let's say you want to apply to job postings for growth marketing. You can just scrape LinkedIn for job postings on growth marketing, etc. And then put all of that data into a Google Sheet or an Excel and then run your growth marketing workflows on top of that. So a very important tool, again, a specialized skill, but we are exploring this because it's useful across growth marketing, right? Browser extensions, I showed you one extension, which is Listly, pretty good extension, scrapes the data off of, websites, directories, platforms. Yeah. And, even things like, imagine a situation where you work with e-commerce brands, right? So let's say you're looking at getting insight about your customer or your competitors' customers. Okay. So what you could do is you could literally go on Amazon and look at reviews of a product and scrape those reviews. Right. And then you can, also scrape reviews of competitors' products. You can also scrape reviews that are positive versus reviews that are negative. So all those kinds of things you can do. You can scrape reviews by the star rating. So what are the 5-star reviews? What are the 4-star reviews? I know some content writers who scrape blogs, etc., and then generate content ideas. If you're doing social media calendars, you can scrape posts from social media of your competitors and then use that as a library of reference. So there's a lot of things that you could do personally, in your case. Then if you are a techie, if you know how to code, then you can literally write Python scripts, JavaScripts, Ruby scripts to scrape websites using code. Those are other tools of scraping. Then there is also like data extraction software. You can download apps on your system that help you scrape. You give them instructions and they scrape websites and data for you. Then there are these online services. You could literally pay for scraping a website. So you could go to these services and pay for scraping. Then there are browser automation tools. I'll show you one of them. You can also scrape mobile apps. So there are like softwares that do that. And then you have machine learning techniques where you can scrape comments, etc., or data from users, images, and then classify the data or use different techniques, ML techniques to work on top of that data. So different categories, but like these are the top 10 scraping methods and a few examples of tools that people can use. Now we will actually get into the action. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start from the very basic, right? So we'll start with Google Sheets. So we're not going to use any tool first. Let's just let's keep this on the side. Let's just start with a simple Google Sheet. Okay. Now, tell me one of your favorite news websites, Swati, a news website that you follow, or a magazine, big one, major.
Yeah. So I mean, if I follow a lot of fashion news and fashion magazine. Yeah. So I think Vogue is one of them.
So this is their blog. So one thing that you can do is almost I mean, most of these blogs, etc., can be scraped using a plugin. And sometimes Listly works well, sometimes it doesn't. So I'll show you different applications.
Okay.
In this case, it's able to sort of scrape the link of the article, the image, the titles, etc. I could even, make a list of all these titles, put it in ChatGPT and ask it to generate ideas based on these titles. If I was a fashion magazine and I want to make, new articles. But one thing which you can do is also you can find their RSS feed. So almost all of these magazines will have an RSS feed. In fact, it takes us to top 35 fashion news RSS feeds.
Wow.
So I'm going to pick a few of these, and I'm sure Vogue could be there as well. But we'll pick the ones, anyone. Let's just pick this one, see if it works. And we're going to just copy this. Okay, this is the formula.
Okay.
So I'm going to select this, and then I just want to replace this with the feed link. So I don't follow fashion, but I think you might know if this is a big enough website. So I'm just going to select. It is okay. Yeah. And then it's going to show loading, and let's wait. So now it's scraped all of the, new blogs.
Okay.
Say that these are the dates. So this is from today, as of the day we're recording this session, and also has a description. Now, imagine there are news apps that give you summaries of news in 1 minute, right? Or one page. They can just scrape a lot of these feeds and then put it in their app. So they have unlimited content generation opportunities. If you are going to follow, if you're going to create your own fashion magazine, you can take these titles, you can have ChatGPT generate new blog ideas based on this. You can even find sometimes the author bio links and then reach out to those authors because they might be guest bloggers, etc. So there's a lot of other applications, but the main thing is that you can literally scrape all of these feeds just by copying the feed URL.
That's great.
And directly, you don't even have to go anywhere else. And then this is already the scrape data. Title, author, date, summary. Just change the feed here. Yeah. So these are all feeds, and they will be easy to scrape. So anything that shows is this. Yeah, anything that shows is this. I also do this a lot for fashion, for business. Sorry. So business. blog feeds. And then I'll go to the same one. This is like the feed directory. So you have entrepreneur.com, Business Insider, TechCrunch, Fast Company, Inc. Magazine. Again, just copy it and then put it in the feed. Just copy the code again. Okay, it's loading.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Anything and everything you would have done manually, you can now do it with all these tools.
Right.
And so much, like, these are so much in depth and gets a summary for you. You don't even have to do the work.
I've also seen like different ways that people are using this. And I mean, right now we're just discussing it as a tool, but then people can create like workflows around it. So like they get this kind of information. I would basically do like digital marketing blogs, and then I would select the topics, titles, and then ask ChatGPT to write, 10 new topics based on these ideas. Sometimes I just, want to do research on who are the authors who are contributing the most to this particular blog. That's another one. And, sometimes I know my friend has an app which showcases the top content in his industry, which I'm not going to mention. It's within fitness, but he has a super niched product, and that app shows all the news in that particular space every day. And he's just basically fetching the feeds and showing that. So the content generation is automated completely. Right?
Wow, that's great.
And yeah, the good thing is this is not the only formula. Like Google also has a way to import tables. This is the formula to do that. So if a website has tables, you can just put the URL and the list will be imported to Google Sheets. If it is XML, then also there is a formula import XML. So the main formula is import. Then we have import feed, we have import HTML, and then we have import XML. Okay. Then we have our favorite ChatGPT, right? That's the second example. So with ChatGPT, what we can do is like we can manually scrape this, of course, and put it in a table, but we can also just ask ChatGPT to do that. So I have a virtual assistant here, Jenny. I just keep asking Jenny to make tables, etc. Like this is the one I use for all of this scraping kind of work. So I'll say, organize the following data in a table. I've just copy pasted like those products. So now it's making the table. So what is the startup? What is the description? What is the category it falls in? How many followers it has? How many reviews it has? You see, there are a lot of these master lists that we have for free download on our website. This is how we made them, to be very honest.
Okay.
So
that's amazing. That's a hack. So
yeah,
why not?
Exactly. These are the categories. Is it AI? Is it productivity, etc.? What is it about? What is the name of the SEO GPT? 100 ways to write optimized content for products and services, etc. So you could also then make this a Google Sheet and then sort it by the number of followers and all kinds of things. But yeah, ChatGPT does a great job at doing this. One hack that I also use is basically just go on Google search and then look for let's say I'm hiring a graphic designer. So I'll just do freelance graphic designers. This is the one I was using in Vietnam, freelance graphic designer and Vietnam at gmail.com. So it typically returns like email IDs of freelance graphic designers like this. And then you can just basically copy paste the whole thing and ask ChatGPT to get the email ID from just whatever. You can copy paste the results and then it's going to give you the email ID. You can put it in a table with names, etc., and then send them email campaigns, like all kinds of things you can do with this. This is just an example, but ChatGPT is very good at like cleaning up data. Okay. If you use ChatGPT inside Google Sheets, then it becomes even more powerful, right? Which is for a separate video discussion. But any kind of raw data, if you want to convert it into tables, amazing for that, right? Then we have Listly, which I showed, which is like good for basic browser scraping. You can just run the extension and then let it scrape. Then we have Browse AI, which is another great extension. Let me move to Browse AI. Let's move this. So with Browse AI, what you can do is you can use one of their you can either train a bot. So you see, this is like the scraping bot. You can literally build a new robot. So let's say I want to build a new robot on Product Hunt. I'm just going to select Browse AI. Then I'm going to say build a new robot, extract data from this page. And it's going to let me run the bot on Product Hunt. So let's say I've selected this link, and then I will select stop recording. My screen sharing got paused.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't let you share screen, the robot thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the screen sharing got paused for a minute because the robot did not let us share the screen. But I can show you an example from my previous data scrapes. So you can either build a new robot or you can use like one of their pre-built robots, right? So if you select the pre-built robots, you can then have all of these frameworks like extract job postings from Upwork, extract job postings from Glassdoor, extract companies info from Clutch. This I found very useful. So Clutch has all of these agencies. And let's say, for example, if I'm looking at this example itself, I'm looking at agencies who do ads, and I want to partner with them for email marketing service, which I provide to their clients, let's say. And then I select 50 companies. I just have to select next and start extracting. So what's it going to do is it's going to basically make the whole list of all of these PPC agencies along with their website URLs, their names, and all of the information. So we let this run. Meanwhile, this is like great, Swati, for also doing an outreach. So if you go to Clutch, you'll actually see that they have a lot of agencies, service providers, etc. And so to give people an example, we are focusing on providing email marketing for e-commerce, right? So we can find e-commerce agencies who do performance marketing for e-commerce because they have clients who will need email marketing, right? So you can reach out to like all of these agencies. And so this is PPC agencies, which is like performance marketing basically. And then we can also see if their project size, the kind of client size that they have is the one that we need, like $1,000, $5,000 minimum project size. So these are the names, these are their websites, what's their rating, what are the reviews, what's the location. So the entire data has been scraped from this particular link. Right? This is the link that is just scraped. So there are 18,000 firms here. I just selected 50 to show people. I didn't want it to take too much time, but then you can select, 100, 200, whatever. You'll be using some credits. So you use credits every time you scrape on this particular. So yeah, they have amazing options for the pre-built robots. Otherwise, you can even train your own robot to scrape.
Wow, that's like, yeah, something else. Creates proper lists and all for you.
Yeah. Can you think of how you could do this like for social media? I see that right now that they have this social media thing, like extract video info from YouTube. I think those are good ones. Like even for Reddit posts, I think a lot of people look at Reddit for ideas about the content they want to create. So that could be a good one.
Yeah, and analyzing, I think, competitors' data, maybe you could put 2 to 5 competitors, and when you get everything in a list, it's much more easier than manually going on each of the feeds and checking each post.
Right. For social media as well as for different competitors. There's another app that I use for that, which I can actually show. So this is our Browse AI. And then the final one is Bardeen, which is something that connects with other tools. That's the one I use for competitor analysis. So I'll show you that as well. So this is amazing. This has playbooks, and you can see the autobooks. Autobooks is like templates that you can use. And you can basically just have copy LinkedIn data to this table, create this, create that, right, etc. So we'll select categories, and then we can do data sourcing and research. So this is sort of a combination of Zapier and also scraping.
Yeah.
So you can scrape job listings to Notion directly, all that kind of stuff. So one thing that I use this. So let's say, for example, if ClickUp is your competitor, let's say you're building it'll be an ambitious thing, but if you're building some competitor of ClickUp, then what it would do is it would automatically scrape product reviews of ClickUp, find the issues in the product. So I did this for Notion already. Now it's scraping the data from Capterra, which is a website where also you can find reviews and other things. Now it's scraping from G2. So it's scraping these websites where these competitors have data. And then you can use that data to decide how you can make a better product than ClickUp. I'm not going to do that because there are too many features to build.
But wow,
yeah.
this is crazy for someone who's actually wanting to build a product.
Right. And see, it's creating a Google Sheet now in my Google Drive with all of the reviews. Because I've already integrated Google Drive. This is very absolutely amazing because you can just integrate tools. You can scrape LinkedIn and then integrate a tool like Snowg or Apollo and then find the email IDs of people and then even run a campaign to those people. All of that from Bardeen.
Okay.
So very powerful in that way. So this could take a little bit of time. Let's hide it. Meanwhile, I'll show you what it created for Notion.
Yeah.
So see, it's already creating all of these documents and everything. ClickUp reviews on G2, competitor analysis, all of this. It's just working on this. The last one I did was
in your drive also, like sorting.
the last one I did was Notion. So they found all of the reviews for Notion and what people like about it and what people dislike about it. So if you're building a competitor of Notion, you have like 50 things that people dislike about Notion here, right? So these are like 50 things people dislike about Notion.
That's amazing.
Right. It has a learning curve. Even very specific things. I really get annoyed at the limited color palette. It's a great product, but there are a few things where it can improve. So even within that, there is a lot of other things that people don't like about it. The content cannot be in PDF. So a lot of these things you can fix if you're building a product. Again, a very good tool. So Bardeen will let you will basically automate a lot of this stuff. And once it's done, it'll show you in my playbooks. Now it's the ClickUp one. It says save 10 minutes, but I think it saves a lot more time if I had to.
No, much more than that, yeah.
So all of these auto books are there. Send a Slack message when Google Sheets is modified. I know that my project manager will update the Google Sheet and message me on Slack, hey, this is done. So this should be automated for sure. Create a ClickUp comment to a task when a Google spreadsheet is modified. So this is more like Zaps, but also there is a scraper inside. So there is like scraper inbuilt in the tool itself. So you can have all of these scraping things happening by default, just like we saw. So then it also creates a Google Doc. See, ClickUp, pros and cons. What is the overall? This is the one we just created together. So competitor analysis of ClickUp. What is the review? Cons summarized from the top 50 reviews, right? So these are the cons of ClickUp, and it has summarized it from the top 50 reviews of ClickUp. These are the pros which are summarized from the top 50 reviews of ClickUp. Right? And then it has created the sheet where you can literally like read all of those reviews. So yeah, pretty powerful stuff. If you get into a Bardeen or a tool which basically connects with other tools, then the possibilities are really unlimited.
Yeah, so Bardeen basically it connects with other tools on its own, right? You don't have to train it a certain way.
Right. So most of the popular tools, yes, but for of course, for your Google Docs and Google Sheets, you'll have to give access to the app. That's the only thing you need to do. So yeah, I think the more tools they add, the more powerful they become. So that's like Bardeen is where the possibilities are limitless.
Amazing. Yeah, that's and I think no matter what business you have, what you're building, or where you are, like if you're a growth marketer, you can actually use these tools and use all of this stuff to like do endless things. There are endless possibilities.
Absolutely.
Just
I think web scraping also applies to, actually everyone should learn web scraping. And
Mm.
I have a course which I have on growthgrad.com, which is like lean web scraping course, which goes completely only into web scraping. But even if you watched, if you watch this video, if people have watched this video completely, they'll be able to do a lot.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
freelancers should be scraping Upwork listings, etc., Fiverr listings, etc., if they use those platforms. People looking for a job can scrape LinkedIn. People who are content creators, content writers, creatives, social media managers like yourself. There's so much opportunity. E-commerce.
Even yeah, content, even like if you're an influencer or
Yeah.
no matter what you do, that
Right.
it'll be useful. Yeah.
Nice. So happy that you found this valuable, and definitely a new skill, a specialized skill, but it applies across, growth marketing. So for me personally, I consider it as a general skill. If you have that skill, you can apply it to different channels. While traditionally it's considered like a specialized skill, but I feel it's more generic to growth marketing. If you learn scraping, you can do a lot of other things faster. So that's all we had for today's lesson, Swati, and see you in the next one then.
Okay. Thanks, Rishabh.
Yep. Thank you.